I'm sorry. Yeah, sometimes the signal's not enough. So anyway, back to you, WU5V Mobile, Southwest Georgia. Over.
Roger, unit in Georgia. I have a SDR down in Georgia. Let me go down there and come back, mobile unit, and let me listen to you for a minute.
Mobile unit, and let me listen to you for a minute.
All right, this is WU5V Mobile, and so there you go. So I hope everybody's doing good out there. Running 100 watts out of a Tar Heel 200 and an 891 in the truck. Over.
Roger. I thought you said you were running 100 miles an hour. I said, my God.
Miles an hour. I said, my God.
No, I'm running 100 watts, I said. I'm doing 55 miles an hour. Over.
All right. What's the name there?
All right. What's the name there?
The name is Jim. Juliet India Mike. Over.
That's right, Jim. And you're in Georgia, Roger?
You're in Georgia, Roger?
Roger, Georgia. I live in Georgia. Over.
Roger. And that what radio you got in that mobile?
What radio you got in that mobile?
The radio is an FT891, and the antenna is a Tar Heel 200. Over.
Roger. Now, have you ever checked the SWR on that antenna, just out of curiosity?
On that antenna, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, Jim, have you ever checked the standing wave on that mobile antenna?
Standing wave on that mobile antenna?
I'm sorry, Jim, we had a perfect double. I was just asking if you'd ever checked the SWR on that mobile antenna.
Yeah, SWR on that mobile antenna.
Yes, I have. I said it's 1.1 and 1.2 over.
Oh, that's excellent. Now, you know, sometimes if you park by a tree or something, that SWR is going to shift around. I have 3 magnetic loop antennas, and just depending on the orientation of them, the standing wave shifts around. You know, there's some trees about 4 feet away, 5 foot away from my loops, my magnetic loops, and if I oriented in such a way, that SWR will go up to about a 2. But on the other hand, if I come back around another way, it's down to almost 0, Roger.
Down to almost 0, Roger.
Yep, Roger. So I tilted my antenna down to go underneath some trees right now, and I'm clear of the trees now, and I'll tilt it back up. Over.
Oh, you have a remote control for, well, you probably can't answer me now since you're ducking the trees, but when you come up out of the trees, you have a mechanical ducker for tree limbs?
Ducker for tree limbs?
Yeah, it's called a lift and lay system by Tar Heel. Lift and lay, just a Google Tar Heel lift and lay, and you'll see what it looks like. Over.
Roger. Now, it's not a fishing line tied up to the topper and you just pull it down manually, Roger.
The topper and you just pull it down manually, Roger.
Yeah, Jim, I heard you back in there. I think conditions might have changed somewhat, Roger.
Conditions might have changed somewhat, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Anyway, WU5V, Jim in Casino, Georgia. Hope you're doing well, over.
Roger. Well, that time you were up there about 8 dB over my, over my PA, my Georgia SDR. You're about 8 dB above the noise of my Georgia SDR, Roger. A good signal.
SDR, Roger. A good signal.
Oh, you're on the, at the school there. I forgot to call for that SDR in Georgia, but anyway, yeah, I'm just at the Eagle Food store, and I got to go in and buy some food, so you take care, and I'll be back with you when I get back out of the store.
Roger, Roger, Jim. Well, I'll probably be into the show then, but give me a shout. We record live on the net between 3:30 and 5, so if you get a chance, check in and say hello, Roger, Roger.
Check in and say hello, Roger, Roger.
On the night watch net, over?
No, this is the Qso-Vlog net, where we help folks set up their transmitters, Roger.
Folks set up their transmitters, Roger.
Oh, okay. When does this net start, over?
It starts in about 4 minutes at 3:30. We run 3:30 till 5 and record all the way, and then we post it up on YouTube, Roger.
And then we post it up on YouTube, Roger.
Wow, okay. That's interesting. All right, yeah, I thought you said the night watch net, which is on 7.192. So there you go. So anyway, you take care. I'll be right back. W5E Muzzle.
Roger, Roger, sir. Catch you later. 73.
Catch you later. 73.
This is KC9VKV with just a heads up. The regular Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net will be starting in 2 minutes at 3:30 on this frequency.
At 3:30 on this frequency.
KC9VKV checking Georgia SDR.
KC9VKV checking Georgia SDR. Georgia SDR.
Checking Virginia SDR.
Checking Virginia SDR.
Checking PA SDR.
Checking PA SDR.
Checking New York SDR.
Checking New York SDR.
KC9VKV checking Birmingham, Alabama SDR.
Birmingham, Alabama SDR.
And KC9VKV, and we're checking, let's see, down in, well, across the roadway from us, over in Kentucky. Lexington, Kentucky. Let's see. This is KC9VKV, and we're trying to get to our Kentucky SDR. And here we go. This is KC9VKV checking our Kentucky SDR. Let's see if we got it. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, checking Kentucky SDR.
Checking Kentucky SDR.
And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time?
Emergency traffic at this time.
And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 2,800 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting. A 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have all the actual masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon, on the receive side, we're running 5 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia specifically, and in addition, we're running our new number 5 Hocus Pocus Internet SDR receiver, loaded with 50 additional pre-programmed Internet SDR locations spread out over 20 states across the eastern half of the United States, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 5 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on this selector is our local receiver audio. And today our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. These are run as a directional scanner array with a manual voting system 6-position rotary selector. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented resonant tuned dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant tuned dipole antenna runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this is part of the band that has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. And this is usually where I call for Charlie K1GZL to join us, but I understand that Charlie is still under the weather. And so we'll just move right ahead and open our show up and see who's out there. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
You want to check out? Give me a shout. Give me a shout.
Yeah, hi Jim, it's Charlie. I'm back. KC9VKV, K1GZL. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, Charlie. I've been hanging out on Milford. Good to hear you, sir.
On Milford. Good to hear you, sir.
Yeah, I got back yesterday afternoon. And here we are. Very foggy out, about 40 degrees. Very, very foggy. So, almost no snow on the ground. So, here we are. I hope we're home to stay. I hope we are home to stay. KC9VKV, Southern Indiana, K1GZL. Go ahead.
Roger, Charlie. Well, gosh, I've been praying for you, sir, and I'm so glad that you joined us. I started to call for you direct, and then I said, well, I'm not sure, but I probably should have. So welcome home, Charlie.
You should have. So welcome home, Charlie.
Oh, thank you for that welcome. Thank you for that welcome. And we'll see what happens. I don't have any recordings today that amount to much. So anyway, back to you, and hope you're copying okay through Milford, KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Got you about 25, 30 overs, somewhere like that, out of Milford, PA. And what kind of power are you running today?
What kind of power are you running today?
Just about 400 watts. About 400 watts output. That's all I can get out of this thing without it cocking out on me. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, sir. I guess, what do you think that is, about a 3.5 SWR or 3, somewhere in there?
3.5 SWR or 3, somewhere in there?
Well, it's hard to say. I could be running an SWR as much as 5 to 1, as much as 5 to 1. There are certain other changes that have to be made here. So there are other changes that have to be made here, Jim. So we're going to try. We're going to try to do the best we can. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Now, I hope that you're not thinking about climbing up on those ladders and stuff, Roger.
That you're not thinking about climbing up on those ladders and stuff, Roger.
Well, I've got it in the back of my mind, but hopefully I've got somebody else to do some of that work, some of that climbing work, Jim. But you're coming in at 9 to 10 over direct. I don't have an SDR. You are direct at 9 plus 10. So back to you, K1TZL.
Roger. Well, gosh, I'm wishing you all the health in the world, and you'll be back on the track, I'm sure, down to Tasmania or places far-flung just as soon as you can, Roger.
Far-flung just as soon as you can, Roger.
Well, we're going to try. That is the main thing. We just barely got back in time for this schedule. Jim, we just made it. But you're coming in very well from southern Indiana. Very, very excellent copy this afternoon. We're in the clouds up here. We are in the clouds. I'm expecting a little bit of snow tonight, later tonight, a little bit of snow, so that won't amount to much. There was one period of time when I was not here that we had as much as 14, 15 inches of snow on the ground. 14, 15 inches of snow on the ground. However, that did not last very, very long. So there was a terrific rainstorm which wiped out 80% of the snow covered. So we won't hold it too long, Jim. Give you a chance to work other stations, and it feels good to be home and to get back on the air. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, so good to hear your voice. So I'm glad you're back again, and God's willing you be there for a long time. I really missed you when you were out. So 73 that way, sir, and I'll be calling for you definitely next Friday, Roger.
I'll be calling for you definitely next Friday, Roger.
Roger, we should be here. We should be here next Friday. At least we hope so. So, real fine, Jim. Thank you very much for your patience with me. And it's about around 5 weeks I was gone. I was gone for at least 5 weeks. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. 73 up that way, sir, and we'll see you next Friday. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. Just a reminder, my name is Jim, and better known in some circles as Dr. VKV. And we are recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. And that will take you to our YouTube Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring over 2,800 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. This recording will be cut number 1 in that series. So, without further ado, let's open it up and see who's out there. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. Whiskey 5, Golf Delta Papa.
There's a Papa out there. Come back again, slowly, phonetically.
Papa out there, come back again, slowly, phonetically. Whiskey 5, Golf Delta Papa.
Is that Whiskey Delta 5 Papa? Is that a Roger?
Delta 5 Papa, is that a Roger? Whiskey 5 Golf Delta Papa.
Golf Delta Papa, Roger.
Golf Delta Papa, Roger. USL.
Yes, sir. What's the name there?
Yes, sir. What's the name there? The name is Gene in Nashville, Tennessee. Back to you.
Roger, Gene, let me go to my local, and I'll tell you what, why don't you give me about 10 or 15 seconds and tell me about your antenna system. I'll look around and see if I can find us a better path. Roger?
Your antenna system. I'll look around and see if I can find us a better path. Roger? Okay, well, I was going to ask you what the signal report is here. Running about 700 watts, and the transceiver is a Flex 6600 with an Elecraft KPA 1500 power amplifier, and gee, that's about the long and the short of it. So from Nashville and Gene, maybe you have found me at a better receive site. I'm getting you at a solid 9, S9 here. Back to you, Jim, KC9VKV, W5GDP.
Roger, Glenn. I'm copying you on my local antenna. You're about to blow me away. Looks like about 15 dB above my local noise level. So you're doing a real good job, Roger.
Roger, and now you are 10 over 9. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Now, you sound like you might be just a little hot. If you want to, we can run through some parameters and see what we've got there. First thing is to be sure that you're running in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth on that radio, Roger?
Roger, that's what she is.
Okay, then to the compressor processor, on and at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger?
Well, my choices are normal, DX, or DX Plus, and it's in DX right now.
Yes, sir. I'd move that to normal. There is quite a difference between those. I think normal is, more cleaner, Roger, and it does a good job.
This is normal. Do you like this better? This is normal. Do you like this better?
Yes, sir. The compressor processor in that machine is not, well, gosh, I like you better in the normal. So now let's move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the word audio, you become a human test generator and adjust your mic level until your ALC is reading 7 or 2/3, whichever comes first.
7 or 2/3. Well, gee whiz, I can read the compression level. The compression level on peaks is about 7 dB right now, 7 dB of compression. And you think that's too high, right?
No, I'm not talking about that meter. I'm talking about your ALC meter. You have an ALC meter. That's the important one. That tells you what your modulation index is.
I'm not aware of that.
Do you know where your ALC meter is?
I'm not aware of an ALC meter. Back to you.
Oh, very interesting. Well, how do you set your mic level?
by the level indicator and by the compression.
Is that a level indicator, like a meter or something?
Yeah, like BU. All right. And right now, it is peaking about, minus 15. Full scale is 0.
Okay, I guess that's the ALC then. I mean, you know, usually most radios today have an ALC meter where they would adjust their mic level by looking at their ALC meter. I understand you know your radio is quite different than that. I've never known exactly how to you know, tell one to express to one how to set that. But what does the book say on setting that mic level control?
It says set it the way I have it set. Back to you.
It sounds a little warm. There's some distortion there. Can you drop it about what's your current mic level setting as far as the knob?
It's a flex. There's no knobs. Okay, but I can back it down on the slider here a bit.
I think that sounded better because it sounded like it might be just cracking just a little bit on the peaks, Roger.
Roger, is this better? Do you like this better?
I don't hear any, you know, breakup on the peaks there. Why don't you bring it up maybe 3 clicks more, a little bit more, and let's see where it goes.
How is this? Is this better, or how do you like this?
I don't hear any distortion, so let's just run it at that. Usually I'm looking at your signal on a VU meter, and I can tell by the way that meter hangs as to what your level is as far as dB intensity. Like it's, you know, we're looking to set up your signal as 3 dB dynamic range, which means your average percent of peak modulation would be 80 to 85%. You know, thing is, if a person were to put a VU meter onto the output of a PA system that doesn't have any compression or limiting, that would probably be about a 10 dB dynamic range. As one spoke, they would be in a 10 dB dynamic range. But on radio, that is very peaky as far as being able to fatten up and get over the noise as best can. So we have found that a 3 dB dynamic range, which means closing that down through a matter of compression and limiting out of your ALC, will give you that 3 dB at 7 or just to the right of mid-scale on your ALC. Roger?
What up, Roger?
Gosh, we had some disturbance there.
Roger on that, Roger.
So, gosh, it sounded pretty good. Why don't you tell me about the thing you like best about your radio, and let me listen to your audio for just a moment.
What I like best about the radio? Well, I like the pan adapter. I like being able to see who's where, and you know, with an experience, you can tell somebody who might be falling CQ by the length of their transmission as it falls down the waterfall. I like that. I like to be able to see what kind of bandwidth people are using and see how their audio is balanced. You know, a fair number of them are not balanced at all. They're all on the low end and aren't putting in much energy in the area where the intelligibility would lie. You know, in the maybe 2 kilohertz range, they're muffled sounding. But you find some that are well balanced. They're using all the spectrum, and you can hear them loud and clear. So is this enough for you? Back to you.
Yes, sir. Now, on your EQ page, what kind of equalizer do you have? Is it an 8-band, a 12-band, 3-band, 2-band, or what?
It's 8-band.
Okay, in that 8-band, is that a third octave equalizer, 1kC, 2kC, 4kC, 8kC, like that?
Yes.
Okay, so down at the bottom there, around 62 hertz or so, we usually suggest a full roll-off on that, Roger?
Roger.
And then at 220 or whatever it is, we go flat, plus or minus 0, 500 flat, and then from 500 on up to about 1.4, 1.5, all of that should be flat because the whole idea behind an equalizer is to strike a balance between the treble and the mid-range and the bass and the mid-range. And if you push the mid-range, it's so much harder for the treble and bass to catch up. So we suggest everything from 400 cycles to 1.5 to be flat, and then 2kc would be like a 4 plus 4. And do you have a way to shape it? Do you have a shape capability of that equalization?
Well, I mean, you have the controls for each of those peaking frequencies, and then you have the limit. So that's what you got.
Yes, so some have the ability to broaden the peak of the EQ pattern and reduce the sharpness of it and spread it out just a little more bluntly than just a very sharp peak. But anyway, around 2kc would be like plus 3, and 4kc would be plus 6 or 7, Roger.
Okay, I hear you. That's not what I'm doing.
Yes, sir. Well, what I'm doing is trying to find out where that distortion's coming from. And sometimes if you really push the mids, you can get that kind of peaky raspiness. But I think it's associated with the peak. And if you've got a scope, you can look at that and see what it says. It's about... I don't know, I would just guess, but like about 5%, 3%, somewhere. It's not major, but it's there on the peaks, Roger.
Roger.
And I think, by and large, though, we get the Gorilla Tape out and taper down there. And again, about that EQ, the thing is, even a bad mic, we give it a benefit of a doubt between being able to be flat between the range of 400 cycles up to 1.5. So that's why we suggest everything flat in that range so you don't have hills and valleys. And then we start torquing there to get the top end up for intelligibility. And in your case, what we have left is the 2kc and 4kc to be relevant in the equalization range that we have to work with on the treble side. Roger?
Roger.
So other than that, Glenn, 73, sir, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and we'll have this uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. You go to YouTube, do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, and we'll have this thing uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2,800 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Roger?
Roger. Thank you. It's been great talking with you and working with you, Jim. And so KC9VKV, W5GDP, I'll be standing by or listening. I'll be listening back to you guys.
Roger, sir. 73. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And again, if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Alpha Charlie 9er, Papa Alpha.
Papa Alpha Station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Alpha Charlie 9, Papa Alpha, Byron in Illinois.
I'm sorry you faded right there. Try it one more time.
Byron in Illinois, Alpha Charlie 9, Papa Alpha.
Alpha Charlie 9, Papa Alpha, Roger. And what was that name again?
The name here is Byron.
Roger, Byron, and where are you, sir? What's your location?
I'm about 100 miles straight east of St. Louis, along Route 70 in Illinois.
Roger, I'm copying you on my local antenna. What radio are you running today, Byron?
I'm running a old Flex 5000 here today.
Well, my goodness, it's Flex reunion time on the channel, Roger.
Channel, Roger.
I actually, when you were giving the directions to the other gentleman there, I sort of did the same thing on my EQ here, and hopefully, maybe I got it halfway.
Yes, sir. Sounding pretty good. Why don't you tell me about the thing you like best about your radio? Let me listen to you just for a minute, Roger.
The thing you like best about your radio. Let me listen to you just for a minute, Roger.
Okay, sure. Like this square box or anything like that. Connections on it. A 12 square box, a bunch of connections on it, and today's weather is awful cloudy, overcast here in Illinois. Light snow, drizzly, rain, but it's winter time here in Illinois. Over.
Roger. Well, the first thing would be to make sure you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, TBW, transmit bandwidth 100 to 2900. The reason we use that is that we want as much top end as we can get. So 2900 is pretty close. It gives you just a slice of daylight to prevent you from winding up in somebody else's front yard, Roger.
Prevent you from winding up in somebody else's front yard, Roger.
Roger, I moved it down a little bit. It's down to 2900 now, and the bottom end set at 100.
Exactly. And then move to your compression processor, and it's a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled. 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger.
What's labeled? 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, Roger.
Okay, I just turned it up for 1. I had it set on 2, and now it's set on 3. So that might be a little bit more compression.
Yes, sir. Now move to your mic. I understand that radio doesn't have an ALC meter. Is that correct?
I understand that radio doesn't have an ALC meter. Is that correct? No, I have a ALC meter. I'm approaching 0 or very close to it. It's real close to 0. It's about where the book says to run it at anyway.
Yes, sir. Would that be to just to the right of center? Just to the right of center on that meter?
Just to the right of center? Just to the right of center on that meter?
It is very close. It might be just a hair bit hot. Once in a while, my peak do go above 0. But for the most part, it is down below. But it could be a slight bit hot.
Yes, sir. Well, we suggest not to go over the zero, not to go over the cliff there, not over 0 level, but 2/3. In other words, the meter has a halfway point, and then there's a point that's halfway between the halfway point and full. So we want to be right there between halfway and 2/3. We have a way of doing that. Usually it's the word audio, which is a multi-textured waveform word that I spent weeks trying to find to use to let somebody set their levels correctly, and you become a human test generator by using that word. You speak the word just as you would speak any other word in the QSO, and adjust your mic level for proper reading on your ALC, Roger.
Mic level for proper reading on your ALC, Roger.
Audio, yes, it's very close to that right now. It's actually down just a little bit, but looks good.
Yes, sir. Now to your equalization page. Are you familiar with your EQ page?
Your equalization page. Are you familiar with your EQ page?
Yes, I am. I have it pulled up on the screen at the moment.
Alrighty, so is that a third octave equalizer, a 10-band third octave equalizer, like 1KC, 2KC, 4KC?
Equalizer, like 1KC, 2KC, 4KC?
It is a third octave, and it's a whole bunch of them. It goes from 32 up to 10K.
Yes, sir. Okay, we want everything between 400 cycles and 1.4K to be flat. Everything from 400 cycles to 1.5, I guess it is, somewhere in there, flat. The reason is, that you want well, a lot of modern radios don't even put a mid-range EQ control because they want it to stay flat while you can adjust the top and the bottom for balance to the mid-range. And if you push the mid-range, it's so much harder for the top and the bottom to catch up. So that's why we suggest everything from 400 cycles to 1.5K to be flat. Roger?
100 cycles to 1.5K to be flat. Roger?
Roger. I was paying attention there to the gentleman before us, and I have this part of the equalizer set up that way. And everything below 400 is all the way down, and then flat, and between 400 1.6 in my case is flat, and then slowly going up to 3.5K.
Okay, and I know you don't have a 2.7K. 2.7K is just the ideal push frequency for the top end. But so we can work between 2K and the 4K to get a push at 2.7. So at 2K, I want you to go +4. At 2K, a +4 push. And then at 4K, I want to make that a +6 push. Roger?
Okay. I want to make that a +6 push. Roger?
Roger. I'm getting there. That's +6. A little high. Yes. Okay. We are set there now, just about where you wanted it at there. It's pretty flat there. Looking at the ALC, it still looks very good.
Roger. Well, it sounded pretty good. Let me. Why don't you give me about 10-15 seconds on your antenna system, and let me look around and see if I can find a hotter signal than my local antenna. Roger.
Let me look around and see if I can find a hotter signal than my local antenna. Roger.
Okay. Yeah. We're running 90 watts.
I normally use for 160.
100 wire loop antenna.
It doesn't seem to work too bad on 40, but I probably won't be using it on 40 meters here, as there's better antennas out there for sure. It's big, long loop. I enjoy
for sure. It's
normally where we hang out at, but it sure is a great day out here. KC9VKV for ID.
Roger, Brian. Let's go back to your ALC and bring your mic level up just about 4 clicks from where it is, and let me see what that does. You're still not quite as full as you could be, Roger. So it'll be your mic level up about 4 clicks from where it is, Roger.
Hey, Roger. Okay, I just moved it up to 23 from 19, and talking about 3-4 inches away from my Kyle TR40 microphone, and hopefully it's doing a little bit better there. The ALC is still within limit.
Roger. Okay, let's go up another 4 clicks. We may come down for that, but just for kicks, +4 clicks hotter from where it was. Roger?
Roger. Okay, that right here is 27, and now we're just right at the maximum there on the ALC. It's hitting really close to the maximum now.
Roger, really looks good. You're just you're at 3 dB now, so you're transmit bandwidth is looking good, and your average percent of peak modulation is somewhere around 80 to 85%. So I would run it just like that. And if you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, you'll bring up this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2800, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow.
All right. Well, thank you very much there, Jim. I'll take a couple of pictures of this in case the computer decides to change the settings for me. So we really appreciate it. It's nice to have somebody. Anyway, thank you. Into your listening to their transmit. Anyway, thank you very much. AC9.
Roger, Brian, 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend, and join us next Friday if you get a chance. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
KC9 November 9, India, Hotel Charlie.
Hotel Charlie, come back slowly, phonetically with a call sign.
Hotel Charlie, come back slowly, phonetically with a call sign.
Here is November 9, India, Hotel Charlie.
India, Hotel Charlie, Roger, what's the name?
India, Hotel Charlie, Roger, what's the name?
Name here is Jeff, Juliet Echo, Foxtrot, Foxtrot.
Roger, Jeff, and whereabouts are you?
Roger, Jeff, and whereabouts are you?
QTH is Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or a suburb thereof. Normally when I say Muskego, no one knows where that is, so I just say Milwaukee.
Hey, roger that, Jeff. And what radio are you running today?
Hey, roger that, Jeff. And what radio are you running today?
Currently on a ICOM 7300 with a solid-state 1 kW amplifier. I am running a studio microphone. It's a Rode NT1 studio mic into a little audio mixer that I just asked for Christmas, and so now it is in line. It sounds like you were doing some audio critiquing, and I'm interested to see what a fine ear would think of my audio.
Roger. Well, let's fade back just for a minute and start our setup a little bit earlier than that. About your transmit bandwidth, we're looking for 100 to 2900 on your TBW. It's called wide on that radio. Roger. On your TBW, it's called wide on that radio. Roger.
Roger. I am currently on wide, 100 to 2900.
Roger. Then compression on and at a 3.
Roger. Then compression on and at a 3.
Actually, I am at a 3. Sometimes they bring up to 5, but currently it's at a 3 right now.
Yes, sir. And then to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the word audio, spoken just as you would speak any other word in the QSO, adjust your mic level until your ALC meter is running at 2/3. Roger?
Until your ALC meter is running at 2/3. Roger?
Let me switch over to the audio. So you want me to do an audio. ALC pops up. It's right, I would say, for 3/4 right now. You're right on the mark.
Yes, sir. Now to your equalization, and you have a really nice equalization. I can't compliment ICOM more about that equalization. It's a 2-band, and that's just so simplistic and so simple and so effective. So I want you to run plus 3 clicks treble boost from where you are.
Plus 3 clicks treble boost from where you are.
All right, give me a second. Let me jump into the treble. I think I have treble up, but hang on a second.
Roger. So this is our transmit EQ now.
Roger. So this is our transmit EQ now.
All right, actually, my treble is at +3, and the bass is actually at +3 right now. Like I said, I am running through an audio equalizer, so I have my mids, my highs, mids, and lows at almost maximum coming through the audio EQ, along with just a little bit of processing on my signal.
Okay, so you're not using the inboard equalization of that radio with that radio?
The inboard equalization of that radio with that radio?
Actually, I am. So I do have the bass and treble set on the radio itself at +3, both of them. And then I also have a studio microphone that goes into an audio mixer. And this channel that I have my microphone coming into the radio is set to bring out all three, the low, mid, and highs, at a pretty equal amount. So I'm not cutting off or rounding off the tops or bottoms or anything like that.
Roger. Well, you have a zero level, plus or minus. It's called flat. The only reason I ask is that I think the ICOM 7300 has just such a beautiful natural sound of its limiter, the ALC, along with the equalization, the compression. It's just all so nice, and I'm not sure why anyone would necessarily want to put outside processing on that when that, like I say, that radio is just so beautiful. Roger.
That, like I say, that radio is just so beautiful. Roger.
Well, here's an experiment for you. So this is flat out of the radio. So this is zero bass and zero treble out of the radio. And the reason I do run through that is I do have a boom arm with the external studio microphone, and to be able to get that into the radio, you need phantom power, which is driven by the audio mixer. So let me know what you think about just straight flat versus before.
Yes, sir. What I would suggest is to get yourself an ART preamp. Get yourself an ART preamp. They're about $50, and then run directly from that into your radio. No equalization, just the preamp and the B+ back to the microphone, and it just does such a beautiful job. But anyway, if you're familiar with what you have, just another experiment here. If we were to take the EQ settings down to flat on your outboard mixer, and let's just go to the internal mixer. I think I would, if you could, I'd like to hear that. And maybe you might like to hear it as we play it back, or you play it back when you listen to it back on YouTube. So that would be more or less rendering your processing EQ and compression negligible on your outboard stuff, just using it to phantom supply your condenser microphone, and then let's use the inboard EQ stuff on the 7300. Roger?
EQ stuff on the 7300. Roger?
Roger. So let's see if I can do that. I don't want to mess with things too much, but let me see. So right now, this is my original audio with on the icon set to +3 on the bass and +3 on the treble. What I'll do is I'll unkey. I will go flat 0 and 0 out of the radio, and then I'll bring down flat on the EQ on the audio mixer on my next transmission. So give me about 15 seconds. November 9 and the Hotel Sterling, Fairfax.
Roger. I would jot down what your external stuff is before you move it, so you can always go back to that, I mean, it's always good to be able to go back to where you were if, it starts raining, whatever. So just jot down where you are so we can then flatten those and use the internal EQ of the 7300. I think just beautiful as far as the EQ capabilities of the 7300, Roger.
As far as the EQ capabilities of the 7300, Roger.
Oh, I've heard everybody say that, especially even the hand mic. So right now, this is flat. This is zero bass, zero treble, and all flat on the EQ. And so let's see where this changes the audio characteristics of the radio. Back to you.
Okay, now go to your inboard EQ and max out your treble, +5. Max out your treble, +5. And zero, plus or minus zero level on your bass. Roger?
Plus or minus zero level on your bass. Roger?
All right, here is +5 on the treble. So no other adjustments, but just +5 on the Icon 7300 EQ setting.
Okay, then your bottom end, your bass should be at zero level. Roger?
Bottom end. Your bass should be at zero level, Roger.
Roger, roger.
Okay, now let's take the bass +2 clicks from where it was. +2 on your bass control, Roger?
Was +2 on your bass control, Roger.
Roger, roger. So here is +2 on the bass and +5.
Alrighty, and give me about 10 or 15 seconds and tell me about your antenna system. I'll see if I can get you on my local antenna. Roger?
Tell me about your antenna system. I'll see if I can get you on my local antenna. Roger?
Roger. An Icon 7300 into a Palistar solid-state amplifier at about 1,000 watts. The antenna is a DX Commander vertical fan dipole. And no antenna tuner, and the location is the Midwest, Wisconsin. Back to you.
Roger, Roger. Sounds really good to me, but if you wanted to, why don't we try an experiment? What kind of EQ do you have outboard? Is that a third octave equalizer, or what is that?
This is a Pile audio mixer, 6-channel audio mixer with DSF.
Pile audio mixer, 6-channel audio mixer with DSF with an effects. So just wanted to be able to handle the microphones in and out of the radios and stuff like that. Back to you.
Roger, Roger. Well, it does to me maybe need just a little more kick on the top. So you may be right there. Probably because it's a more broadcast type mic, it's more conservative in the top end, that it might need just a little more pizzazz, and you could maybe strike that as a +3 on the treble boost on your outboard EQ, Roger, in addition to the +5 internal.
Roger, in addition to the +5 internal.
Trying to find some syllabic range in that dialogue, a little bit of S range, S's and stuff, little articulation.
A little bit of S range, S's and stuff, little articulation.
Hang on a second.
Sorry, we had a perfect double. Go ahead.
Sorry, we had a perfect double. Go ahead.
All right, so here's a little bit more treble coming out of the audio mixer. How is this?
Sounds like you might be hot somewhere. I'm not real sure. The thing is, if you use outboard devices, are you coming in mic level through the mic input?
Are you coming in mic level through the mic input?
Yes, coming in through the mic input. I can bring down, right now it's only on +2 on the mic gain on the radio itself, but I can bring down the overall mic gain on the mixer itself.
Yes, sir. So normally, rule of thumb is if you use outboard stuff, outboard stuff on your mic input, make sure that your mic is somewhere nominal so you don't overload the front end of the mic preamp in your radio. So you want to be like a 4 or a 5 on your input level control to just be sure that you're not approaching overload on your input from your export outboard stuff.
Your export outboard stuff sounds really good here as well.
All right, I heard a couple of other stations saying they were commenting on that I sounded pretty good. I do understand you. I'm about 4 inches, 6 inches, probably talking a little louder than I normally talk. But I did bring down the overall mic input into the radio just a little bit, so maybe that helps a little bit.
Yes, sir. I would suggest putting your internal mic level control at 4 and then adjusting your main level with your outboard stuff, with your inboard stuff, mic level at 4, and that way you're sure not overdrive through your front end.
Mic level at 4, and that way you're sure not overdrive through your front end.
I think the last time I tried to bring up the internal mic, I was overdriving it. The ALC was way over and into the red. So I've been leaving it at 2. But like you said, what I could do is bring up the internal mic and bring down the audio mixer input to adjust for that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir, because I feel like you're just on the verge of clipping, and that's what's causing that distortion. So if you bring your internal mic gain up to 4, which would be a nominal level, and then adjust your actual ALC level by your outboard gear, I think that would be a better situation, Roger.
By your outboard gear, I think that would be a better situation, Roger.
All right, let's see here. Oh, I went way down here. Now I'm about half. Let me bring that up a little bit here. Test. There's about 3/4. How is this now?
Yes, sir. Much cleaner. Much cleaner. And I think you'll hear that on your recording. You were just on the verge of overload there, right on the peak. So now you've got some headroom above to work with to keep it clean, Roger.
Above to work with to keep it clean, Roger.
I was thinking that the other day because I was driving the audio mixer at almost full mic gain, and the radio was at 3. And so by reversing it, now I'm pushing the audio mixer, the audio into the radio less, but letting the radio actually do more of the work outside. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. You have just a little bit more headroom now because you've lowered your outboard gear level down, and you're running your mic level at a nominal level of 4. So that's what you want, and you want to keep in mind about that because it's really easy to overdrive your mic input on your radio. So this will keep you from doing that, Roger.
Input on your radio. So this will keep you from doing that, Roger.
Roger, that makes total sense. I know I ran into that when I put the audio into the computer. I've got a DSP for the computer, and when I ran it into the computer, I was experimenting with the same thing. Where do you want the boost happening? And you want to bring down the audio device and bring up the mic gain at the processor, which is where the radio or the DSP are trying to control it. So it makes perfect sense. So sounds really good. Well, hey, thanks for the fine-tuning. I've been getting pretty good audio reports, but sometimes when you spend a little bit more time on with it, you can get the basses and trebles to sound a little bit nicer. Sierra Delta.
There's another station in there, go ahead.
There's another station in there, go ahead.
Roger. You know, I'm kind of going through the same thing. I'm using a mixer and a Hion 781, but I tried a DI box in line before the radio, and that didn't work very good, made a little noise. It was a Pile DI box, but I picked up the audio interface from W2IHY. It's called I+. He also makes what's called an iBox.
And this gives you total control over the input into your radio, because your mixer is putting out a higher volume, or they call it you're looking for mic level coming into the radio, and this allows you to adjust it down to get a nice clean audio. I don't know, how's my audio sound?
Roger, hang on just a minute. Let me wrap up with Jeff. Jeff, I think we've got it going on, sir. It sounds pretty good. If you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, and it'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2800. And so there you go. And have a happy day. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday. Roger, Roger.
Have a happy day, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday. Roger, Roger.
All right, then let me just confirm on the call on that Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor QSO.
Yes, sir. Name is Jim. Juliet India Mike. Called as Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, and followed by the word logbook to bring this recording. Roger.
And followed by the word logbook to bring this recording. Roger.
Oh, Roger, Roger. So I got it down there. I'll definitely check that out. Hey, thanks for the audio report, and to the other station as well. Your audio was sounding good as well. It's, you have to go through the critique and adjust things. But then again, it's how we want to hear ourselves as well. Sometimes we're going, well, that's a little too high treble. But hey, thanks a lot for the audio check, and I'll turn it back over to you. KC9VKV and 9IHC, Wisconsin.
Roger, Roger, Jeff, 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and join us next Friday if you get a chance. And that other station out there, come back. What is the call sign?
And that other station out there, come back. What is the call sign?
KC9VKV Delta.
The station that was talking about running outboard EQ gear, what's your call sign?
About running outboard EQ gear, what's your call sign?
Kilo Zero Sierra Delta out of South Dakota.
I got Kilo Zero something Sierra Delta.
I got Kilo Zero something Sierra Delta.
Sugar Delta.
Kilo Zero Sugar Delta. Is that a Roger?
Kilo Zero Sugar Delta. Is that a Roger?
Roger.
Alrighty, and what's the name there?
Alrighty, and what's the name there?
Tango India Mike.
Roger, Tim, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
Roger, Tim, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
I'm in the northeast corner of South Dakota, right on the North Dakota border.
Roger, Tim, and what radio are you running today?
Roger, Tim, and what radio are you running today?
I'm running a 7610, ICOM 7610.
Hey, another one of my favorite radios. Well, okay, if you be interested in our setup, it starts with you making sure you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. It's called TVW, wide 100 to 2900, Roger?
Called TVW, wide 100 to 2900, Roger?
Roger, I'll have to change that. I'm sitting in the mid right now.
Repeat that last.
Repeat that last.
Okay, I just changed it to wide.
Yes, sir, because that will allow you to get the maximum out of your transmitter. It will perform best at that frequency. Now, you can go at a higher frequency than that, but what is the problem with that is that you start trampling into somebody else's front yard. With 100 to 2900, there's just a slice of daylight before you are in somebody else's yard, and that's much preferred to being looked for with pitchforks, Roger?
And that's much preferred to being looked for with pitchforks, Roger?
Oh, Roger, I understand that.
All right, and so now why don't you give me about 10 seconds, tell me about your antenna system. Let me roll around and see if I can find the best path for us, Roger.
Your antenna system. Let me roll around and see if I can find the best path for us, Roger. Sure.
Okay, I just got to my last antenna on the last half of the last word you said, so I need just a little bit more audio to let me listen to my 7300.
Over to I'm on my vertical now.
All right, so I wound up on my PASDR, which you're about 5 dB over their noise level, so we'll work with that. And now you are running outboard outboard equipment. Is that a Roger?
We're running outboard equipment. Is that a Roger?
Roger, I'm running a Rockwell 10-channel mixer.
Coming in mic level or in the back?
Coming in mic level or in the back?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Are you coming in from the mic level in the front of the radio? Or are you coming in the back of the radio?
Level in the front of the radio? Are you coming in the back of the radio?
Oh, I'm coming into the front of the radio. I'm going the mic into the mixer, XLR in, XLR out to the I plus W2IHY interface, and then into the radio.
Hey, Roger that. Okay, so what I want you to do is, well, tell me what your mic level is. Take a look and tell me what your mic level is on your radio, your internal mic level.
Take a look and tell me what your mic level is on your radio, your internal mic level.
So you're running a 5 on your mic level input?
So you're running a 5 on your mic level input?
The mic gain on the radio is 50%.
Okay, so that's a good place to be. That's a nominal place to be on the input of that radio, and that's what you want, to be able to be at a nominal level coming in, which means that your input is somewhere about minus 50 or so, as opposed to dealing with line level out of your external box into the mic level, which wants to see about minus 55. So that setting of 50 on your mic level is just perfect. And I'm assuming that you have your compressor off on that radio. Is that a Roger?
Off on that radio. Is that a Roger?
No, compressor is on. It's on wide.
The 7610, does that not have a 10 out of 10, 1 out of 10 input on your compressor?
And 1 out of 10 input on your compressor?
Yeah, I can turn it down.
Yeah, so you need to be at a 3 actually. You should be just at a 3, and then we could go up to your ALC and double check that. But get that processor on a 3, Roger.
But get that processor on a 3, Roger.
Now, Roger, got it set on 3.
All right, and then to your equalizer, and we want to brighten you up just a little bit, so it'll be 3 clicks additional treble EQ from where you are, Roger.
3 clicks additional treble EQ from where you are, Roger.
that puts me about 5 on the treble.
Roger, you do have a 2-band EQ on that radio, Roger?
Roger, you do have a 2-band EQ on that radio, Roger?
I have a 3-band.
Oh, you have a center frequency, a mid frequency?
Oh, you have a center frequency, a mid frequency?
Roger.
All right, well, make sure that that mid frequency is plus or minus 0, neither cut nor boost, just flat. Roger?
Neither cut nor boost, just flat. Roger?
Roger. Everything is flat on the mixer right now.
I thought that was exactly the same as the 7300 as far as I was concerned. 7300 only has a 2-band EQ. All right, so let's see. Since you have 3-band, we're talking about the treble EQ. You're at what, and what is your maximum?
You're at what, and what is your maximum?
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I was talking about the mixer. The mixer is 3-band. No, it's just like a 7300. It's only 2-band. It has a treble and bass.
Yes, sir. Well, if you could just make a note of, I'm really just enthralled by the EQ pattern capabilities of the ICOM circuitry and their limiter, their whole transmitter, to me, is just beautiful. I can't think of a reason for adding outboard equipment to that, because the way the treble expands as you bring up the top end, you would have to have really a problematic microphone to not reach a nice balance between your treble and your mid-range, and that's all what you're talking about on a equalizer, is a balance between the treble to mid-range and the bass to mid-range. So what I would normally do, I would not run outboard equipment with that 7300 or the ICOM 7610 because of that capability, unless I was really running a microphone that needed some help. Roger?
Unless I was really running a microphone that needed some help. Roger?
Roger. Well, the reason I have the mixer in line is for YouTube streaming.
For what? I'm sorry. Try that again.
For what? I'm sorry. Try that again.
I'm using it to do online streaming. I'm doing videos. I got a YouTube channel called Radio Brotherhood.
Yes, sir. So is your microphone, if it's a condenser microphone, you can go, directly into that radio, because it is designed with DC on the input, Roger?
Because it is designed with DC on the input, Roger?
Oh, Roger, this is a Heil 781. It's supposedly made for this radio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I wish I had just a little bit better copy on you, Tim. You're, let's see, where am I? I'm on PASDR, and you're around a 4 or 5. I keep hoping I can get a better copy on you. Do you have any antenna options, or is what we got what we got?
Do you have any antenna options, or is what we got what we got?
Well, I'll switch over to my vertical, see if that made a difference.
All right, let me, why don't you give me about 10 to 15 seconds, and let me look around again and see if that did make a difference.
Why don't you give me about 10 to 15 seconds, and let me look around again and see if that did make a difference.
I'll tell you what, rather than do that, did my signal come up to you? If it came up to you, then yours probably came up to me, Roger.
Come up to you. If it came up to you, then yours probably came up to me, Roger.
I got a good 5 down. I am running 1,000 watts.
Did you say you're running a KW?
Did you say you're running a KW?
Yeah, Roger, 1K.
Yeah, well, some days are like that. You know, some days you can't get out of the box. And then some days, you know, 2 watts and you're around the world. But I'm copying you a little bit better now. I'm not sure exactly what antenna I'm on. I'm on my Hocus Pocus, and I can't do it. It's like combing your hair. I can't do a thing with it. I mean, I don't know exactly where that is. But it is the best right now, so I won't ask any questions. I'll just take it the way it is. There's a button called peak or something on the front of your radio. Do you know where that is? Or flash or something?
Do you know where that is? Or flash or something?
It's called peak. I don't know. My ALC is right at the top of the scale. It does a big steeple scale. It just goes right to the top. And I'm talking on my vertical now. And I am pushing 1,000 watts. But, you know, it could just be conditions, too. You know, conditions change today.
Oh, roger that, Tim. Well, let's see here. Probably the word I was looking for is quick. You have a button on the front of that radio called quick, and punch up quick will take you to drive. Roger.
Called quick, and punch up quick will take you to drive. Roger. Roger. I got the quick button. Yes, I do.
All right, and you should set what's your drive set for now?
All right, and you should set what's your drive set for now?
50%.
Yes, sir. Take that up to 65. Take your drive up to 65. Roger, roger.
Take your drive up to 65. Roger, roger.
Yeah, roger. That is 65 on the drive in.
Okay, and I'm still, trying to get a better copy on you. Are you running an in-fed antenna? Is that a Roger?
Better copy on you. Are you running an in-fed antenna? Is that a Roger?
No, I'm actually on my 43-foot vertical.
Okay, do you have a horizontal?
Okay, do you have a horizontal?
Yeah, Roger. I can switch over to my dipole.
All righty.
Alrighty.
Alright, that's my 80-meter dipole.
All right, not copying much difference between your vertical and your horizontal, which is very unusual. Usually there's a big difference. But let me go to my antenna and let me see. Tell me the best thing you like about your radio.
Antenna and let me see. Tell me the best thing you like about your radio.
I have that sitting here. I only use it for digital now. So when I retired last year, I treated myself to a 7610 and an ALS 1306. I have an ALS 600 that I use with the 13 with the 7300. So I basically have 2 setups to my shaft.
Yes, sir. Well, on that 7610, we're in the equalization mode. I need for you to go down to the bottom end. You're really almost too heavy down the bottom end. So I want you to take, let's see, minus 4 on the bottom end of that EQ on the 7610. Minus 4 on the bottom end. Roger, roger. This is the first time I could get to my local receiver to be able to really listen to your bottom end accurately. A lot of times these SDRs roll off at 200, 250 cycles. I'm looking at the output of my 7300, which goes down to 100 cycles, and you sounded just a little heavy down there, Roger. So we want to take that lower frequency bass control and roll it off about 4 clicks, Roger.
So the bass control is minus 4, and the treble is +4.
All right. Let's go ahead and take your treble on up to a +5, which should max you out on your treble. And then let's hear you, and maybe we'll roll out a little bit more on your bottom end.
Yeah, Roger. Well, that's +5.
All righty, and tell me something I don't know here for about 10 seconds.
Well, I got a YouTube channel that I started about a month ago, and I've put 7 videos up so far, and I've gotten fairly fair response. That works. It takes a while.
Roger, we're running about 2,800 now, so it takes years, Roger.
Oh, God, yes, I know. Well, you know, I guess I've been fortunate. Oh, God, yes, I know. Well, you know, I guess I've been fortunate. I got almost 100 subscribers, but I've got lucky.
Somebody's playing a game with a dead carrier. Somebody's playing a game there. I thought for a minute that you had some distortion, but it's just somebody keying their mic or something. I'm not real sure.
But it's just somebody keying their mic or something. I'm not real sure.
Bass is down -4. Treble's all. So the bass down -4. Treble's all the way up, and my wide range is set from 100 to 2,900.
Yes, sir, Tim. I think you got it, bud. And if you want to hear your radio, go to YouTube, do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
To this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Oh, Roger. And can I get the call one more time, make sure I have it correct?
Roger, Roger. Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. KC9VKV, name is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and this is the Qso-Vlog net.
Name is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and this is the Qso-Vlog net.
Well, Roger, I got it. All right, I'll take a look for it. Thank you very much. And if you ever want to put a face to the voice, my channel is called Radio Brotherhood.
Ah, very good, sir. Very good, sir. I'll check her out.
Ah, very good, sir. Very good, sir. I'll check her out.
Okay, thank you very much for your help. Looks like, well, you know, like I said, I'll have to hear it to really know how it works out. But I'm looking at my ALC right now. Well, my ALC is a little bit over. It's running just over than it was before.
Yes, sir. Well, you're looking for 2/3 on the ALC meter. Looking for 2/3 on that ALC meter. And so, yeah, and you know how to check that. Just do, look at your ALC meter. As you say the word audio, adjust your mic level until your ALC meter is showing 2/3, Roger.
Until your ALC meter is showing 2/3, Roger.
Well, Roger, I'll do that. I will take it down a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, that's the best way. I spent months trying to find the right word to use as a test tone generator, a human test tone generator, and I found that the word audio is just looks from wall to wall on a spectrum analyzer, so it's the ideal word to use to set a level with, Roger.
Ideal word to use to set a level with, Roger.
Roger. All right, well, thank you so much for your help, and I will definitely check out your channel tomorrow afternoon.
Roger, Roger, Tim, 73, sir. Have a good afternoon, and if you can, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. All right, getting close here, but we have time for one more maybe. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo 8 Echo Papa Sierra.
Papa Sierra, come back with your call sign slowly phonetically.
Papa Sierra, come back with your call sign slowly phonetically.
It is Kilo 8 Echo Papa Sierra.
Echo Papa Sierra, Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Echo Papa Sierra, Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
The name on this end is Eric. We spoke last Friday, and you helped me set up a Shure mic into an outboard EQ into my Kenwood TS-890. And this week I would like to set up my Sennheiser headset and boom mic to give me the same kind of great results. And I'm located near Columbus, Ohio.
Roger, Roger. And what radio is that you're running? Or is it the same radio?
Roger, Roger. And what radio is that you're running? Or is it the same radio?
Same radio, Kenwood TS-890, 0 on the EQ, everything is flat, and I'm set 100 to 2900 like last week.
Okay, so you're coming in just regular mic level input, Roger?
So you're coming in just regular mic level input, Roger?
That is correct, a 12-band equalizer coming into the microphone input.
Okay, so make sure that your internal mic level control is set at 4 or 5, somewhere in a nominal level. And that will give you some headroom running that outboard gear. Roger?
And that will give you some headroom running that outboard gear. Roger?
Roger. Mine is currently set to 20, where if I was driving it with like the Shure mic, I would probably up at 40. So I've got it turned down some so that I've got plenty of headroom inside.
Well, you need to be, is that mic level 0 to 100 level on your internal mic control?
0 to 100 level on your internal mic control?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you want to be on a 40. You want to set that internal mic level at 40 or 45 or 50, somewhere in that nominal range, and then turn your output, your outboard gear down to where your level is correct for your ALC. And the reason for that is you want to stay away from overloading your front end. And so when you've got your mic gain, your internal mic gain set at a 40, then that's a good level to come in at. So I would suggest turning your internal mic volume control up to 40, and then take your outboard mic level down to where you have 2/3 on your ALC meter as you say the word audio.
On your ALC meter as you say the word audio.
All right, I've reset from 20 to 40 on the Kenwood. I have turned down my 12-band equalizer, and now we're going to look at the ALC signal here. Audio, too hot. Let me get that down. Audio, audio, audio. Okay, we're at around 2/3 now on the ALC.
Roger, Roger. Looks good, sounds good. And you're still at 40 or so on your internal mic gain, Roger?
And you're still at 40 or so on your internal mic gain, Roger?
That is correct. That's what I was running on the Shure mic before I used the outboard equalizer. So yes, I've got it set at 40.
Roger, Roger. And that's all about not overloading your mic input level to your radio. When you run your internal mic gain at 40, it expects a certain input level in your front end, going into your mic front end, and that's why you turn down your output of your external gear to give it just the signal that it's looking for, and you have headroom then before running into distortion. Roger?
Before running into distortion. Roger?
Roger, that makes sense, and I think we've got just about everything else lined up here. I'm flat on my EQ from 150 to 1200, and then it goes up to probably 10 or 11 dB on the 2400 to 3300. So it looks like we're peaking about the same as we did on the Shure mic last week.
Roger, Roger. Now, it is kind of towards the top end, not the real top end, but up there around 1 kc or thereabouts as far as peakiness. But it is a headset, and I'm assuming that you want to be a little on the sharp side of your audio curve, with that headset, Roger.
Your audio curve, with that headset, Roger.
That is correct. I would like to see it favor the top end.
Yes, sir. Well, when you listen to your recording, you'll see what it is there, and I'm sure that there's somewhere that you're probably pushing around 1 kc, maybe 1.2 kc, somewhere in there. And if it's too peaky, you can always bring that down. But it does sound right about 1 kc, 1.5 kc, somewhere in that area, Roger.
kc, 1.5 kc, somewhere in that area, Roger.
Roger. Yeah, it should be pretty flat on here, but with the Sennheiser headset, I'm not sure exactly what the response curve is for that boom mic.
Yes, sir. Well, it's a heck of a lot better than what it could be. I mean, you could be. I haven't detected a bunch of mouth noise, so you've got that going for you. And your curve is very nice. It's not real heavy in the bottom side. Although I would like to hear you on my local antenna. Why don't you give me 10 or 15 about the thing you like best about your headset, Roger?
Or 15 about the thing you like best about your headset, Roger.
All right, Jim. It's a Sennheiser 300, and you can wear it all day. I think the boom mic is just a little short. It could be about an inch longer and swing around in front of the mouth a little better. But otherwise, it's just a wonderful headset. It's a little better. But otherwise, just a wonderful headset, comfortable to wear, great audio, and I think my microphone's doing okay.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. And the reason it doesn't come around further is that you would then start to hear mouth noises with it. So the way it's manufactured is just beautiful because it doesn't come around to get the wind currents coming out of your mouth for plosives, or actually a bunch of mouth noise as far as like chewing on a hamburger or something. So I think it's placed just beautiful, and I think you'll love your audio, Roger.
I think it's placed just beautiful, and I think you'll love your audio, Roger.
Roger, Jim, I appreciate it. I liked hearing my replay last week, and I'm going to look forward to listening to it again tomorrow for this headset. Now, I really appreciate the service you provide, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, 73 there, Eric, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. Roger, Roger.
Be there, Eric, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. Roger, Roger.
Roger, Jim. Appreciate it. And I'll be listening to you next week. KC9VKV. This is Kilo 8, Echo, Papa Sierra, clear.
Roger, Roger, Epic. Eric? Oh boy, it's been a long day, and speaking of long days, we've got to get out of here. Since 3:30 we've been recording live, and if you participated and want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2800, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. And with that being said, we need to get out of here and return this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV, clear.